Well, here I am working on this Fusion today, and I just got off work, wearing my Camry Nation shirt, working on a Ford Fusion. Makes sense. But I've ran into a little bit of a problem. Do you see what we have here? We have two lower ball joints. I remember this when I was building it, that I had two lower ball joints, because I thought that was a pretty weird technique. I've only ever seen one other car use it, and that was an Audi A4. I imagine that a lot of the European BMWs and stuff like that have it. But my brother used to drive an Audi A4, and that's how I know about this. So the problem with that is we got two ball joint spots down here in the spindle, which in the derby world is really not a bad thing. Double ball joints, double not breaking, right? But let's spin this around. There we go. He did snap this clean off. And that's actually a fair size spindle. That is, it's my hand, and I got pretty big hands. And he also broke the steering knuckle. So why this is an issue is because you see two bottom ball joints here. Now, let me go show you. Actually, there's the steering knuckle right there. It didn't bend the tie rod or anything, just snapped it right off. So now that we've seen this, let's go take a look at the Mazda setup. So here's the Mazda 3. I have the wheels cranked to the passenger side here. And as you can see, if I can get in there, I can't really see what you guys are seeing, but I can see from a different angle. It's only got one ball joint. I'm going to do some measuring. I'm going to bring out a jack and lift it up, see if the axle is roughly the same size. Because if it's roughly the same size, I think it will go in. But this is a smaller car, so it might be shorter. I'm not sure. And the control arm setup is a lot different on this. I don't know if this is going to work. Really don't know. I don't think it's going to, but I don't know. Alright, I looked into it. None of the parts are going to swap over from that Mazda. Even though it's the same motor, the axle is about 4 inches too short. So there's no way that axle is going to go into this motor. I went on the internet and I looked up Rock Auto on how much a new spindle is. $187 American. That's the cheapest one they have. So that's a little pricey. I'm going to phone. Today is Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday, Monday's a holiday, Tuesday I'm going to phone a couple local scrapyards and see if they have this part. If I can pick it up cheap, 20, 30 bucks, I'm going to fix this car. But if that part is like 50 or 80, I'm not going to fix this car. And I know that I could remove myself, but all the scrapyards by me, actually only one lets you go in the yard and pick your own parts. All the other ones leave, and that one yard that does let you pick your own parts puts the parts flat on the ground, so there's no way I can undo these ball joints. So I think this Fusion might be done, and it's a shame because the frame is still very nice, but I don't know, it sucks, but it might be what it might be. So if that's the case, I'll be cutting my bumper. I'll be probably cutting my threaded rod here because I can reuse them for battery boxes, saving my hood pins, getting my aluminum rims. I believe it still has one catalytic converter underneath it. Basically just cleaning this thing out, getting my fuel tank, getting my battery, getting my donuts, getting all that stuff back out of here. So we'll see. I'm not 100% sure of what's going to happen to this, but if that's what happens and she has to go to scrap, then that is what happens. And it'd be a shame because the car is still straight, but I'm not investing $180 to $150, not even $100 into this thing. So, because we all know that if I put another spindle into it, the other spindle is just going to break. And I've already damaged these ball joints trying to pound these things out, so I've already got to take a zip cut and clean those threads off. The strut's bent. Doesn't really matter because of the style of suspension it is. The control arm is bent. So like everything is bent, and it's just honestly, I don't know. I don't think it's really worth it. It'd be a shame because Mount Forest is coming up in 2 weeks, and it'd be really nice to run this thing in Mount Forest. But I don't know. Well, we'll have to see, that's for sure. I don't know. But I'll keep you guys informed, that's for sure. Thanks, guys. See you back here tomorrow. Well, here we are on Tuesday night, and I've already started cutting the car apart. I'm just going to sneak this into the end of the first video. I got the catalytic converter off. I got the bumper off. I got pretty much everything half taken out of this thing. And the reason is, every scrapyard told me they wanted $85 for that spindle. And I'm not going to replace that spindle just to have it break again. So unfortunately, the Fusion's going to be stripped and sent into scrap. So thanks everybody. I'm just going to throw this on the end of the video of it. But we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Take care. Well, it's taken me about 2 days, a day, and the Fusion is stripped of everything that I really cared about inside this Fusion. And she's starting to be filled up with a lot of stuff I don't care about. Barbecue, doors, other parts to cars, that kind of fun stuff. But I just threw this tire underneath it, dragged it out with all the suspension missing, saved the bumper. You can see, you can look at the ground, it just dragged it right out. So yeah, we're just going to fill this thing up, we're going to send it into scrap and kind of wash our hands of this situation. It didn't really turn out the way I wanted to. I wanted to run the car, but I was approached by a buddy that needed a car, so I rented it to him. He did what he had to do, and then the deal was I get it back to get all my stuff out of it. So I got my bumper back, I got my window bar, I got my toggle switches, I got my battery box, my fuel tank, my threaded rod, all that fun stuff. So I got everything back that I really needed out of this thing. But she's stripped, she's ready for scrap, she's just going to be filled up and thrown in the trash. So bye-bye Fusion, see you later.